Hey, what's happening, guys? Week number 2 in a row that I've got a video coming your way. Seriously? Anyways, I've been in real estate for 14 years now, and it never ceases to amaze me some of the crazy questions that I've been asked over those years. Today, we're going to talk about just 8 of the craziest questions that realtors get asked on a daily basis. First off, before we get going, let me just say that hopefully I don't offend anybody by these crazy questions, because to be quite honest with you, most of the ones on this list I have been asked by multiple people in my career. So they're really not that crazy. They just seem crazy to other people who may not have ever thought about them. So here we go. Number 1, can my dog come see the house? Now, this one seems a little bit crazy to somebody who may or may not who may not have a pet, but pets are family members to a lot of people, and a lot of times if you're going to check out a backyard or there's something in that area that they may or may not like, you might think it's a good idea to bring your dog, especially if there's another dog next door and you want to make sure that they're going to get along. So while it may be crazy to you, this is definitely a question I've been asked more than once. Number 2, can we come back at night? Now, this one I don't think is crazy at all. As a matter of fact, when I'm working with a buyer, I tell them it's a great idea to drive back past the house at multiple times during the day just to see what it's like at different points in time. Unfortunately, right now, our inventory is very, very limited. So if you're wanting to come back another time, it may sell before you get an opportunity to really see what it's like, but definitely not a crazy question. Number 3, probably the most frequent question I get when showing homes: can I use the bathroom? It's not really the best idea, especially when we're in the middle of a global pandemic and everybody's worried about the coronavirus, but if it's an emergency situation, it's probably better to use the bathroom than end up having an accident somewhere else. So yeah, go ahead, ask. If you absolutely have to, we'll figure something out, but try to hold it if you can. Number 4, is anything buried in the backyard? I limited that to is anything buried in the backyard, but I can tell you right now I've been asked several times to if there's any body buried in the backyard. Truth of the matter is that is not necessarily something that has to be disclosed in the state of Indiana. And not only that, if there is something that's buried back there, it's typically going to be something that would be disclosed, like, the septic tank, or if there's an underground storage tank, if there used to be home heating fuel or something like that. So while it may sound a little crazy, it's not as odd as you think it might be. Number 5, do you have anything on sale? And what I mean by that is, do you have anything at a discounted price? Short answer, no. Right now, the market is on fire. Prices are higher than they've been in a long time. The inventory is super low. If you're looking to make a great purchase at an awesome price, it's probably not going to happen right now. So if you find something that you like, the good news is interest rates are historically low, so you're going to get it at a good price for the money you borrow. Number 6, has this house been scanned for paranormal activity? Once again, in the state of Indiana, hauntings aren't anything that has to be disclosed because the Indiana state legislature doesn't even recognize that ghosts are real. So there's really nothing that we have to do to disclose any information like that. Now, there are people who, are a little bit more sensitive to things and want to know that about the house that they purchased. So you can always ask the question, but the likelihood that you're going to get an answer is a big fat goose egg. Number 7, can the buyers bring their kids? Now again, this is a question that is similar to the one about pets whenever I talked about that at the beginning. If you've got kids in your family, you probably want to take them to check out the house. Once we're talking about coronavirus and things again, decision makers are typically the people who are going to check out the property the first time as much as possible, just because we don't want a huge number of people in homes to try to limit the amount of exposure that may or may not happen, especially with occupied properties. But absolutely, it's totally fine to take your kids. They're going to be living in the house too, so it might be good to get their input. And number 8, the craziest question of all, but probably one that we get asked as listing agents all the time is, can you lower your commission? My answer to that is, I'd be happy to lower my commission if you tell me what services you don't want me to provide. Would you be happy if somebody came and asked you while you're working your job full time and doing what you do on a daily basis if you're willing to do the same work for less money? Probably not. That's what you're asking a real estate agent to do whenever you're asking them to lower their commission. We work hard to hone our skills to make sure that we're getting you the best price for your home and taking care of the transaction to make it as smooth as possible. And statistically, you're better off paying a real estate agent than you are trying to do it on your own anyways. So don't ask them if they can lower their commission if you can at all afford not to, because ultimately it's kind of insulting for a lot of agents. I like it. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I've been in real estate for over 14 years. So these are some crazy questions that in all actuality just aren't that crazy. Be sure to share these with any of your friends who are thinking of buying or selling a home so they know the questions they want to ask really aren't that crazy at all.